recording? Okay. All right, so what we're going to do with this document that I've got pulled up, I'm going to read this to you, so y'all listen, okay? We are doing this project together as a class, and it says, our directions are, you are employed as the assistant to the student advisor at Northeastern Community College. The office's data entry clerk has exported and emailed a list of current advisees to you. This information is presented as a text file since it was exported from the student records management system. Your first task of the day is to convert this text to a table for the student advisor to review. The advisor also asks that you apply formatting to the table to create an easy-to-read table. So our first step was to open it, which I did, and I sent it to all the screens. And like I said, if you don't have it on your screen, just look on with a partner. And we're going to convert this text to a table, okay? So to do that, we're going to format our table using any style table that does not include column borders. So let's see what we've got to work with. We've got student name, student ID, course, and program of study. So we're going to need 4 columns, okay? Let's see. Let's play with this. I'm going to hit Control A and go to Insert. Okay, so what I want you to do is make sure you've selected your text. And you can click anywhere in the document and hit Control A on your keyboard. That's a shortcut that'll allow you to select it all quickly. And once you've done that, make sure you're on your Insert tab and go to your table and just click that little arrow and open this menu. And we're going to go to Convert Text to Table. Does everybody see that option?
Mine.
Wait, convert what? Convert text to table. Okay, because your text isn't selected. So select your text first, hit Control A and on your keyboard and not select it all. If you don't want to use your mouse, you can use your click and drag on your mouse as well, either way. Ayana, just hit Control A on your keyboard and select all of the text. Yay. Okay, now you're going to go to your Insert tab on your ribbon, go to the table option and hit the arrow. And once you do, you're going to choose Convert Text to Table. Now once you do that, then this menu is going to open up this dialog box, and we need to decide how many columns and rows we have. It's got 4 in there, which your columns go across. So we've got student name is going to be a column, student ID is going to be a column, course, and program of study. So 4 columns is correct. Then your rows go down this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have 5 rows, and that's what it put in there automatically for us. Okay? So we're going to tell this okay. Does everybody understand this part so far? You understand that it's 4 columns and 5 rows and why that is that way? Okay. So we're going to tell it okay. And it puts that in a table for you automatically. All right. So our next step, we need to format the table. Okay. So we've got this menu or this tab that's popped up now for our table tools. And on our design tab, oops, I'm sorry. If you unselect it, that goes away. You have to make sure that your table stays selected. On your design tab, you can hit this more button, and it wants you to choose any style that does not include column borders. Okay? Column borders are these lines that go up and down between your columns. Okay? So it doesn't want any that have the lines in between the columns. It wants them open. So expand your menu, and then you can choose any.
Wait, what?
That don't have the up and down lines. So like this one.
Wait, like this one?
See these, like this one in this row doesn't have the lines that go straight up and down. Some of these colorful ones don't. You can use the ones with the row borders that go across, just not the column borders. So I'm going to choose the purple one, because again, I like purple. So see mine, it does not have any borders between the columns. Yes, ma'am. Okay, you've got to select your text first. There you go. Okay. Now, then the next step is we open that and choose any that don't have, like this one you can't use. Yeah, that one would be.
What's the use this one?
Okay, sorry. As long as it doesn't have the lines between the columns. So you see how it broke this out into columns. There's just spaces between them, but no lines. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Did I do it right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, actually, yours has these lines between the columns. So click anywhere on here and select it and hit this button again. You can pick a colorful one as long as it doesn't have those up and down lines. Any of those are fine, but you can't use these because it's got those.
Okay, I'll just
Okay.
do that.
All right, so we formatted it with anything that doesn't include column borders. Our next step, we're going to create a landscape format document with the following page header. So who can tell me, do you remember where you go to change your orientation to landscape? Anybody know which tab? Let's just start with the tab. What'd you say?
Layout.
Page layout. Go to your page layout tab, and you have orientation button. Choose orientation, and then choose landscape. Okay, that changes our document. This is portrait. This is landscape. Okay, so when you choose landscape, it just turns it this way, so your image shows up easier to read this way. When you're using tables and sometimes even the graphics and smart art and stuff that you choose looks better landscape than portrait. Okay, so we've changed it to landscape, and then we need to add a header. So which tab do I use to put a header in the document? That's right, insert. Go back to your insert tab. Choose your header button in your header and footer group. Now, let's see what our requirements were. We want to put in advisement list with the current date. Okay, and we want it to look similar to the table style that was applied. So, see whatever style you chose, if there's a header that looks similar to that. So, for instance, these that have this red looking color in them, if you chose a red layout to your table, then you could choose one of these that has the red color in it.
There's one with blue.
There's some that have blue lines and dots in them. Yep, here's a purple one for me. Okay, so I'm going to choose this last purple one. So you can just choose one that looks similar. If there's not one, you can just choose a plain Jane one, okay? So you have little placeholders in your header. So what you're going to type, let me get over here to my mouse. Type easier. Yours may look a little bit different, but on mine I have a place for title. And if it doesn't say title, it's fine. You can type in any placeholder. But you want it to say advisement list. It doesn't have to be in all caps. Mine was just pre-formatted that way. So just make sure the A and the L are capitalized.
What we doing?
Advisement list. Make sure you type that in the placeholder. And like I said, it doesn't have to be set up just like mine, as long as it's in there somewhere. And then you also want to put the date. So if you have another placeholder, you can put the date. And on mine, I can pick the date. So I'm going to pick today's date. If you don't have the option to pick the date, then just type it in. And you can do 2/15/2013. You don't have to type February. Okay? As long as we have the current date. Has everybody got that part done?
No.
Anybody need me to show them anything? Got it? Okay, and just put 2/15/2013. Now, if any of you chose a header that had more than 2 placeholders to type in, if you've got a third one, just click on it and delete it. Okay? Because these are the only 2 we're going to use. So if there's a third place where you would type in text, you can just click it and delete it.
Thank you.
Okay, you can double click anywhere in your document to close that header footer, or you can click that red X up there that says close header footer. And then you see how it appears on your document. It's kind of faded back there in the background. Now we're going to apply a caption to the table. So this is something new, we haven't done this one before. This is what I was talking about as far as quick parts. So we're gonna go to our insert tab.
Why does our have the parentheses around it?
Probably just,
You ain't.
I'm doing two things.
No, you're not. I'm doing two things. Come on, I ain't going.
because usually they go away with the placeholder once you hit enter and finish type. Ma'am? Okay, now you just double click anywhere in the document or click the X. It closes your header footer. Okay, now the next thing that we're doing is we're going to put a caption under our table. Anybody know what a caption is? What? Go ahead, Jim.
Pretty much like talks about the picture.
Mm-hmm. It's just a description of the picture. Like you see them all the times in textbooks or something. You'll have a picture or a magazine even, and underneath it, it'll tell you basically what the picture's about. It might tell you who's in the picture. So we're going to put a caption about our table to describe our table to our readers. So you go to your Insert tab, and you choose Quick Parts. Everybody see where the Quick Parts is? Quick Parts, it's right here beside Word Art on your Insert tab. And once you have that open, we're going to go to our Building Blocks Organizer. On that menu, when you click Quick Parts, you'll see something that says Building Blocks Organizer. Okay, once you've got that, this dialog box opens up. And we want to see if we have a caption already in here. So, see where it says Gallery? No, they're not in alphabetical order. I don't see anything that says caption. Let's see. Let's look at the names. See if we can find a caption.
If you click on it, it'll go alphabetically.
Maybe does not have one.
On the name. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Hold up, give me just a second. I'm trying to find it myself.
On references, it has insert caption.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I told you wrong, and I meant to go over this before we started. I forgot, I completely left off the references tab. Click on the tab that says references instead of insert. So if you've opened your building block organizer, close that, I'm sorry. I was wrong on that one. Thank you, Eternity, for helping me with that. So go to your references tab, and okay, see the group that says captions? It's in the middle. Choose insert caption. References tab. Watch him, Charles. Do it too. Okay, so when this caption dialog box comes open, it automatically says figure 1 in there. Okay, we're going to change it to table 1.
Okay, mine says table 1.
Okay, good. If it says table 1 already, then that's great. I'm going to change this to, okay, I'll tell you what, look, label, let's change label to table. If yours doesn't already say it, then it automatically changes it to table 1 for you. Does everybody see where I just did that? Where it says label? Change it to table, and this says table 1. Now you can call this whatever you want if you wanted to call it something different, but for our purposes this is a table, so table 1 is a perfect description. So you just click OK, and it names it table 1. Okay, so we applied our caption, and now the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in a centered footer So we're going back to our insert tab again. In our header footer group, you choose a footer and it just said centered. So again, look and see if there's one, since we used the header that matched our table formatting. Let's see if we can find a footer that looks similar to it also. I do have one, but mine's not centered. So since it wanted us to do a centered one, I guess let's just go back and.
I made mine centered.
Did you? Okay. I'm just going to use this one that says page 1, but I'm going to change where it says page 1 and I'm going to type my name instead. So if you want to choose one that matches yours and then just change it to centered text, or choose one that's already centered, you can type over any text that automatically appears there. So they want us to change it to our name. So make sure you've got your name in your footer. And again, you can double click anywhere to close that or to close that red X up there. After you've done that, I want y'all to save that. Okay, so go to Word, go to File, Save As. Make sure you're on Documents. If you don't click Documents, it's going to save it in this NetOp folder.
What was
Yes,
the
sir.
last thing?
Should put a centered footer in there with your name on it.
Oh,
Okay, so make sure you click on Documents. You can leave it, if it says Lesson 9 Project 1 already for you, just leave that. Save it in your Documents. You have a menu, a message pop up, tell it okay. And then go to Gaggle and upload it and just save it in your digital locker. You don't have anything to submit it to yet. We'll submit them later. Yes, Alan. Okay. That's not going to help me. Just
Which key? This key.
yes.
Is it okay to put like that?
It wanted it centered, but you might can move that and center it. I know somebody else said they centered theirs. So as long as your name's in there centered, that's fine.
Can you save it?
Yes, save it to your documents, and then go ahead and upload it to your Gaggle digital locker.
Miss Key?
Yes.
Better than mine.
Yeah.
That's fine. And if you're working with a partner, go ahead and, like Charles, you need to sign on your Gaggle on that computer and upload that to yours also. What we're going to do is we're going to save these little assignments that we do together, these group projects. We're going to save them in our digital lockers, and when we get so many of them done, we'll let you turn them in as extra credit. So you would want to say we get 5 or 10 of these done, then I might let you turn those in place of that lowest quiz grade or something. So I'll exchange it, so you'll get 100 instead of, a lower quiz grade you made. Okay, I'm gonna come around and help anybody that was struggling with that. Does anybody else have any issues or questions about this? You can go ahead and turn the camera on. Thank
You
you.
said submit it to our digital locker.
Okay. So did everybody finish their mail merge for
Yes.
Wednesday?
Well, I haven't.
Okay.
I know.
Did you start it? Did you
Yeah, I
work on it
started.
before?
I put that thing on the mister and all that on the thing, but I still try to write it, but something happened. Like every
Okay.
time it just left off.
Okay. Did you save it though, so we could look at
Yeah,
it
I
together?
saved it.
Okay.
I got it on my digital locker.
Stephen, yes.
I was trying to write mine, but when I saved it, somehow the data file got corrupted somehow. I don't know how.
Okay.
That's
So
what
I had
happened
to
to me.
delete everything and just start over, but I wasn't able to do anything.
Okay, all right.
I'll-
Those of you that had problems, I'll help you with that. Was there any problems, like did anybody have a certain issue, any kind of hiccups that, besides the 2 that already told me, anybody else have any issues?
Me? Yes.
I could tell the data file was corrupted too.
Okay, Steve. Yes, Diana?
Mine went on the open Microsoft and it was off. And when it opened for
Some of it, I think they didn't change the license keys over yet to our license. So we'll have to get that fixed. So anybody that didn't get their mail merge submitted, then just see me before the end of class so I can get with you on that and we'll see what we need to do to fix it. What'd y'all think about the speaker yesterday? Well,
She was very,
Funny.
She's more hyper than me, and that's really hyper.
she had a lot of energy.
yes, yeah.
She took one of them 5-hour interviews.
Yes, yes. I wish I had that much energy.
I know.
Every
But even though not all of you might be interested in the auto diesel college, I mean, I still think she had good information.
Yes, she does, but that only made me more depressed.
I don't want to go to auto diesel.
Yeah, but even though she was talking, she was here to recruit people to her college, but she also was trying to let you know there's scholarships out there. And, you know, I listened to her several times yesterday, so I heard the same thing over and over, but she did change it up a little bit. Like, for y'all during first block in Mr. Yelverton's class, she actually went through the whole budget thing with y'all, and y'all got to make your own budgets. We didn't really have time to do that in the other lessons, so she went into a few other things. Did y'all get to play the Jeopardy game?
Yeah, partially, yeah, actually.
Well, they did. She did that longer when we moved to the library, second block through fourth block, and she broke everybody up into teams, and they did the Jeopardy game longer. Where she went into talking to us more about creating resumes. She went into more details about that and interviewing. Did she tell y'all the story about becoming a leasing agent, trying to get that job where she wanted the apartment? I know some of you were in there more than once yesterday, you probably heard it, but it really was, I'll give you the short version of what she was saying about it, because I heard it 3 times yesterday, so I haven't memorized it. But she was saying that she wanted this job as a leasing agent, and even apartment complexes here, sometimes you'll see, if you're the manager of the apartment complex, then they give you an apartment to live in, so you're on site. So anytime any of the tenants have any problems, then you're there to help them. So she really wanted this job, and she applied for the job, and it was probably about a week after she turned in her application and her resume, she had not heard back from them. So she went back, or she called them back to follow up on it. And what her point she was trying to get across is it's very good to be friendly and remember people's names. That means a lot to people, you know, when you talk to them, if you know their name, you have a more personal connection with them. So she was saying to always make friends and know the secretary, the person, receptionist, whoever it is that's answering the phones and relaying the message, make sure you're on a good, friendly level with them. So she called and she knew the girl's name. I can't remember now, we'll just call her Mary. So she'd say, "Hi Mary, you know, this is Kelsey, I applied for the job last week, and I just wanted to know if you had made a decision yet. I was calling to follow up on that." And she'd say, "No, we haven't made a decision on that." She'd say, "Okay, well, if you don't mind, I might call you back." So then 2 weeks went by and she didn't hear anything. So she's getting a little nervous, a little aggravated. But she said she never let it show. Even though they can't see her when she's on the phone, she's got a smile on her face because it comes through in your voice. You sound happy and cheerful when you're talking. So again, she called her, "Mary, this is Kelsey again. You know, I just wanted to see if you'd made up your mind yet." And so she went through the whole spiel again. "No, we still hadn't made a decision." 3rd week she called back. She's really getting ticked off now. She's like, "I want this job and I need to know something," and they hadn't called her back. So I can't remember, it was the 3rd or 4th time that she went through this, and she called them and they put her on hold. And she said she stayed on hold for like 5 minutes, and they came back on and they said, "Look, we had not made a decision yet, but you keep calling, and Ms. Heather says we need somebody with energy like you, and you know, we want you to come back in for our 2nd interview. Can you be here at 3 o'clock today?" She said, "I'll be there at 2:30. But they were even calling her by her, they knew her on a first name basis because she kept calling and kept following up. So that was the point she was trying to get across as far as when you're applying for jobs and interviewing and turning in resumes and stuff. And first of all, your resume, you won't even get chosen for that first interview if your resume is not good. You have to read over them, proofread them. And she made a good point too. You know, word, spell check, grammar check that we've talked about as we've been going over our word lessons in here is not always 100% foolproof, because she was trying to put the word starting in her resume. She left the T out, so the word was staring. Well, Word doesn't know that she meant to say starting, and staring was spelled correctly, so it didn't pick it out. So little things like that can cause you problems, and they'll throw it out. They're like, "This person doesn't know proper grammar, they can't spell, you know, we don't need them working here," and you won't even get chosen for that interview to even be able to make your impression face to face. So, wait this thing back up. So did anybody have any questions or about the speaker yesterday, or want to, if anybody, I've got her information just in case any of you do change your mind and want to talk to her. Like I said, even if it's not about auto diesel college, she's got a lot of information about scholarships and stuff. She can point you in the right direction. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, just see me at the end of class and I'll give you her name and everything. She left me a little pamphlet so I could pass the information on. Okay, so we'll go back to the mail merge and I'll get with everybody that had problems doing that. But for those of you that are ready to move on, we're gonna go ahead today. And we're gonna be talking about organizing content. And organizing content, our objectives are going to be to learn to use tables in Word. To do that, we're gonna insert a table, we're gonna enter text into the table, select parts of the table, sort tables, insert rows and columns, delete rows and columns, change our column widths and row height, format the tables, and we're going to use quick parts. So when you want to put a table in your document, again, it's on our insert tab. We've been working with our insert tab a lot lately. This is where we talked about formatting the graphics and the pictures and stuff the other day. Your table is also here. So if you push this arrow, you get this menu that comes up. Okay, you can choose if you want one row with 5 columns. You can go on. You can do it this way. Okay, you can go back to this menu. You can draw your table, and it gives you like a little pencil tool. And let me get over here where my mouse is. Do this so we have a blank page again. When you go to draw your table, you have this little pencil. Can everybody see that up there? It shows up. So when you do this, you can pick how large or small you want it. Just like we've done when we insert pictures or draw shapes, you can do it that way. Okay. Then you can take this pencil and if you want just 2 columns this way, or I may decide after I've got that, no, I think I want a smaller one over here too. You can go horizontal with them. So you can make that more specific. If you want, you know, a narrow column here and a wide column here, you might choose to draw it instead. Now once you, and then you also, let me show you this real quick too, you also have quick tables to choose from. And these are pre-formatted, they can be calendars. There's a tabular list. Some with subheads. So you have quick tables that you can choose from like a template that's already pre-made for you. Okay, now once you've got your table in here, again, like our pictures and everything else we've worked with so far, once you select this, you can format it. This, you'll have a new tab that pops up, this Table Tools tab, and you have your Design tab and your Layout tab on here, okay?
Can you change the colors on them?
Yes. So these are your table styles that pop up, okay? And just like with our other lessons that we've learned, when you have your styles here, you can choose that More button and expand it. You have lots of pretty colors and formats to choose from here on your table styles. Okay, then let's choose a purple one, love purple. And you can change your colors. And then let's look at, what else do we have? Oh, you have these options over here. You have your header row, a total row, first column, last column, banded columns. You can check those and uncheck those as you're going through playing with Word on your own screens and messing with the tables. But if you choose to have a header row, it makes it look more like a, like you would have your titles of each column up here in your header row. If you add a total row, then usually that's where you would, if you're working with numbers in a table, you would have a total row to, that would be the place where you're going to have all your totals added up. Okay, on our layout, this is where you would go in. You can tell it if you want your grid lines to show up or not. You can change your height and width. You can center your text or right or left align it. You can change the direction of your text. So if you don't want your text to appear horizontal, you can make it go straight up and down, vertical. You can do that by changing your text direction. And once you have everything typed in, you can also sort it. Okay, so those are a couple things that we're going to be working with as we're learning about tables. Does anybody know when you would want to use a table in a document? Anybody give me an example of that?
Table document?
No, why would you put a table in a Word document? What would a use of it be? It'll come to you. You would insert a table and document if you, maybe you're typing up school lunch menu. And you might want to put a table and have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and what you're having for lunch on those different days of the week. You might, like they had in the quick styles, you may want to insert a calendar if you're sending a letter to someone about when basketball tryouts or cheerleader tryouts are going to be, or practices even. And you might even want to put a calendar in there and highlight the days on the calendar that you're going to have practice, just to make it easier for them to see. You know, some people are more visual, so just reading about it, it may not stick in their memory as much as if they actually see it on the calendar. So, okay. Quick parts. Let's talk about quick parts. Let's get our table off of here. I keep hitting undo till I'm on a blank document. Okay. Quick parts is also on our insert tab on the word ribbon. And you have this option here of quick parts. Now, I have not used quick parts a whole lot, so some of this I may have to refresh my memory with y'all as we're going through it. Let's look and see what auto text is. I guess auto text would be something where you could go in and type a title or something that you want to appear automatically. Document properties, you know, on our title page. Now keep it down, girls. On the that lab that we did, the first set of labs we did when we did the beginner skills in Word. You remember on the title page where we had those placeholders? You could use these quick parts for something like that. So if you're creating a document that maybe you want to have it set up for other people to go in and change later, then you can go in and you can add a company quick part, and also that way you have these placeholders in here so somebody else can come in and change it and add those in there later.
Oh, it's like when you open those ones you sent to us where you can convert them.
Right. And then you just click on here and it lets you type in whatever, you know, and some of them it had to change the title or whatever. It actually said place title here, and then you click on that and it lets you type over it. So that's what they did. They inserted these quick parts in there so you would have that option. And then you have building blocks organizer. You can go in here and choose, there's works cited, bibliography, there's all kinds of pre-made building blocks in here for you to use that you would, there's a cubicles cover page. Let's see what all besides. You have equations.
Charles, doctor needs to go see Miss Smith.
Miss Smith, okay. You hear that, Charles? You have built-in footers. And you know, we've actually seen some of these when we were doing those lab documents, and you had to go in and it told you to go to headers or footers and you had to choose, and it told you to go choose the blanks one style or the brackets one when we were inserting page numbers. That's what these are building blocks, and they all show up in your menus when you go in to choose from them. But if you're creating a document that you want someone else to be able to change, or when we were talking about templates and I told you you could save any document you type as a template to use again later, you may want to make a template that has all these building blocks in it to choose from. Okay, so there's some of our page numbers. There's the brackets one that I was just talking about. But they have these in there for you to be able to access and build your own blank documents with these placeholders or building blocks in them. Okay? Let's see. All right, what we're going to do next is I'm going to unfreeze your screens, and I'm going to send you a document that we're going to work with together. So give me just a few minutes to sit down and upload that to you. Leola, go ahead and pause the camera. Just hit the red button again.